Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IAS. In today's video, we'll be dealing with the slave or Mamluk dynasty political. Alright, see now before we enter in, alright, there's something called as Delhi Sultanate. Okay, somewhere, okay, during a period of 12th century, alright, so timeline is around your 12th century. What happened was, okay, a new power started coming into India. Alright, a new power started coming into India through your northwest. Alright, so those group of people who came in started establishing their dynasties in India. Alright, now that particular dynasties which came in were 5 in number. They were all consecutive ones. Together we will put them in one slab called as Delhi Sultanate. The first dynasty to enter India, okay, and become a part of your Delhi Sultanate was your Slave Dynasty or Ilbari Dynasty or your Mamluk Dynasty. Alright, in today's video we'll be looking into the Slave or Ilbari or Mamluk Dynasty ka political part. Alright, let's get into the video. Now, look at this. What is the starting? Muhammad Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori. Alright. See, there is a difference between calling something as an invasion and calling something as setting up a dynasty. First, understand the difference between invasion and setting up of a dynasty. Alright. In invasion, that is during a period of time of Muhammad Ghazni and Ghori, they had set up empire and their dynasty elsewhere. They needed the riches here. That is from India. So they used to come into India, invade, plunder, take the loot and go back to their place. Okay, this is invasion. But whereas with respect to a dynasty of Delhi Sultans, yes, they came to India, but with no intention of going back to any other empire, but rather set up a dynasty or empire in India and start ruling here. Okay, this is the dynasty. The invasions of Muhammad Ghazni and Ghori opened up a pathway towards your northwest, that is to your Delhi. Okay, and then it led for a person, or now the person here being your Qutb-ud-din Aibak. Okay, now he came back here, he started the dynasty, which means the one which we are talking about, nothing but slave dynasty. Alright, now this slave dynasty began. Again, it was not invasion, dynasty. Okay. Now, be it in the case of Muhammad Ghazni Ghori or in the case of your Qutb-ud-din Aibak, neither are originals of this land, but they came from somewhere with different purpose. So, here the difference is in the purpose. Okay. Now, look at the name, Slave Dynasty. What is this Slave Dynasty? Okay. See, at that point of time, okay, now if you see slaves, they were used for two purposes. One is for your military purpose, another one is for your domestic purpose. Okay, both entirely different, occupation wise both are extremely different, but what one thing in common is they both are owned by some master. They both show their loyalty to one master, whoever it is, whatever the reason might be. Okay, thus the name Slave Dynasty. Okay, they were of military background. Alright, the one whoever we speak about in your Slave Dynasty is all about your military background. Okay, this led to the establishment of Delhi Sultan or Delhi Sultanate. Okay, they were largely your Afghani or Turkey in origin. Okay, that is members of your Delhi Sultanate. Okay, initially this rule started, okay, somewhere confined in northern India, then proceeded down Deccan, and then towards the end, if you look at the consolidation, it had reached even your southern portion of India. Alright, now in your Delhi Sultanate, I told you there are 5 kingdoms which comprise of your Delhi Sultanate. Okay, the period of time is somewhere from 1206 to 1526. Okay, what happens in 1526? First battle of, what happens? 1526. The first battle of your Panipat or your Mughal empire begins at that point of time, leading to a new chapter in the history of India. Alright, but now coming back to Delhi Sultanate, what are the 5 kingdoms? One is your slave Mamluk or Ilbari dynasty. Next is your Khilji dynasty. Then comes your Tughlaq dynasty, and then is Sayyid dynasty. Last is your Lodi dynasty. Alright, today's video completely political part of your slave dynasty. Look at the name. Slave dynasty, Ilbari or Mamluk dynasty. In this dynasty also there were 3 other dynasties, that is everything comprises of your slave dynasty only, but because of different figures associated with it. For example, one such figure, the beginning was your Qutb-ud-din Aibak. Okay, now Qutb-ud-din Aibak will put him under one dynasty. His approach was different, his setup was different. Okay, next comes your Iltutmish. Okay, then comes your Iltutmish. Somewhere down the line, okay, now this will form different, this will form a different one, and post him, somewhere his daughter Razia Sultana and all will come in. But one more person, very important person, is your Balban. Okay, all these forms, right? Now the rulers are all under slave dynasty only. They are all under the concept of your Delhi Sultanate only, but their approach in taking the Delhi Sultans or the approach of slave dynasty was very different from each other itself. There's different names. What are the names? Qutb dynasty, that is by your Qutb-ud-din Aibak. First Ilbari dynasty by your Iltutmish. Second Ilbari dynasty by your Balban. Okay, these 3 are extremely important names that you have to know at any cost in your slave dynasty or Ilbari dynasty. Okay, the timeline is somewhere from 1206 to 1290. Look at this. Mamluk, slave dynasty or Mamluk dynasty. Mamluk means owned. Okay, like as we discussed earlier, be it in the military or in the domestic chores, both are owned by a master, both have to show loyalty to their master, right? Geographical extent or political mapping. This is of your, this is especially during a time of Iltutmish. Okay, now again during if your Iltutmish and all period, if you see, even though they've set up, okay, this is their heartland, Delhi. Even though if they've set up the empire, they constantly did not have an easy ride. Constantly they had threat from your Mongols. Okay, they had to safeguard this border if this had to remain in their control. Okay, so some dealt with physical force, some dealt with tactical diplomacy also as to how to prevent the Mongol attacks. Alright, now first we'll be seeing is about your Qutb-ud-din Aibak. He was a slave of your Muhammad Ghori. Right, post that he comes to India, sets up a dynasty, that is your Ilbari dynasty. Okay, now look at this. He assumed the title Sultan and made Lahore his capital. Okay, it's also assumed that he gave huge amount of generous donations, which made him to be called as Lakh Baksh. Okay, because of his liberal donations. Alright, now it is said that your Qutb-ud-din Aibak died while playing your polo. Alright, the next in line is your Aram Shah, who was the son of Qutb-ud-din Aibak. Okay, now look at this particular word, Turkish amirs. See, one thing is, during your Qutb-ud-din Aibak period of time, okay, slowly the Turkish nobles started becoming stronger. Okay, the Turkish nobles started becoming stronger, that they started having a say in the matter of the administration. Further onwards, what happens is, as these Turkish nobles keep on coming into picture, they develop themselves into something called as the 40. Largely we see this in the period of time of Iltutmish. That is, initially they were only trying to assist the Sultan. Initially they were trying to just be into the or involved in the administration, but slowly they gained the name of, okay, deciding as to who has to become the Sultan, whether he is the ideal puppet for this nobles. The name of the nobles, okay, the collection was the 40. So much so that they used to depose of, so much so they would place a new Sultan on the throne. Okay, somewhere during a period of, by the time of Iltutmish, they become very stronger in power. Finally, this was done away during your time of your Balban, who thought that these people were undermining, okay, the superiority of the Sultan. Understanding? Now, look at this. The Turkish chiefs did not like Aram Shah. For this, what did they do? They invited the Qutb-ud-din Aibak's son-in-law, Iltutmish, to become the new Sultan. Okay, thus comes in your Iltutmish with the beginning of first Ilbari dynasty. Alright, see, Iltutmish had assumed the title Shamshuddin. Okay, alright, Iltutmish. Now, see, now he is considered as the real consolidator of the Turkish rule in India. See, when we saw about the political map, how it was, now it was pretty much spread over in your northern areas. That was largely during the time of Iltutmish. He did not just deal everything with physical brute force but also with tactical diplomacy. That is how he prevented the Mongol attacks. Okay, see, your Genghis Khan, the attack was very prominent on India. The Mongol attack was easily averted because of the diplomacy used by your Iltutmish. Alright, the Ilbari dynasty, because he belonged to Ilbari tribe. Okay, that is why the first Ilbari dynasty. Alright, next, see, he was the one who shifted the capital from your Lahore to Delhi. Alright, now look at this. After Iltutmish, okay, he wanted to place Razia Sultana, his daughter, as the next Sultan. So this was a little bit unconventional at that period of time. Okay. Now when you look at Razia Sultana, she was an able administrator. She discarded the feminine outfits and she opened the veil and she started doing or conducting court. She used to ride, okay, and then she used to lead the army. Okay, this somewhere was not acceptable to the Turkish nobles. Okay, they felt that we have to take orders from women. So somewhere on that lines there came, okay, a conflict between your Turkish nobles as well as your Razia Sultana. At the end of it, this is the period of time where the 40, though these Turkish nobles or the 40 will now try to dispose of your Razia Sultana. Okay. Again, Iltutmish's eldest son, okay, Firuz Shah, he assumes the throne. Okay, this was with the help of the 40 or the Turkish nobles that we've discussed. Okay, but when the governor of Multan revolted and when your Firuz Shah goes to suppress the revolt, this is the right time the Razia Sultana, okay, grabs the power. Okay, she grabs the throne. All right, look at this. At this point, she took the support of Amirs of Delhi. She seized the throne and she became the new Sultana of your Delhi Sultanate. Look at this. First and only female ruler of medieval India. Pretty much a very big accomplishment at that period of time. Okay. Now, look at this. There was huge amount of resentment in the Turkish nobles. Why? Because they felt that they have to take orders from a woman and they found that she is not acting as an ideal puppet that they thought that the nobles would do. First thing is they were initially okay with her coming in because they thought, yes, we can use her as a puppet. But she wasn't. This enraged them. Alright? Which meant now they planned somehow that we have to discard her. First, they tried to imprison Razia Sultana, whereas she made a deal with her captivator, and finally she tries to rise back. But again, this point of time, the Turkish nobles have become so strong that they, okay, eliminate her and bring Iltutmish's son back on the throne. One more thing that was, okay, against your Turkish nobles is that she tried to create a lot of non-Turk people into nobility or into the administration she tried to induct. That was not well appreciated among your Turkish nobles. Alright. So next who came in? Bahram, or the son of Iltutmish, became the next Sultan. Alright. Fall of Razia Sultana, that is post Iltutmish. Now, okay, the entire power, they existed, the 40 existed from before, But the power subsequently and in a larger level shifted to the hands of the 40 after the fall of Razia Sultana, because they were the ones who decided that Bahram Shah should become the king or the next sultan, right? So which means they amassed a large number of power. Here is where the 40 had huge, okay, decision making power with respect to your sultan. Alright, now with respect to Bahram Shah, there was huge unrest and then he was killed by his own army. Alright, the next is your Masood Shah. Okay, he was picked because he was the ideal puppet for the nobles. Alright, later on even he was replaced by Nasiruddin Muhammad. Okay, now Nasiruddin Muhammad is the grandson of your Iltutmish. Alright, now look at this. He ascended the throne with the help of Ulu Khan or your Balban. Very, very important person with respect to your slave or Ilbari dynasty. He assumed the position of a regent, and also, see here, your Nasiruddin Muhammad was just the king, okay, or just the sultan for namesake. A real power lay in the hands of your Balban. Okay, and to strengthen his position, he got his daughter married to your Nasiruddin Muhammad, making Nasiruddin Muhammad or the Sultan of Delhi Sultanate or Ilbari dynasty son-in-law of Balban. Understanding? Now we begin the reign of Balban. See, now when we have to see about Balban, one thing is he ruled with iron fist. Okay. Now the way he ruled, he wanted to create, Sultan means no one is supposed to oppose. He is the end goal. Okay, and then he also made them believe that the Sultan's position is the most supreme position and not the 40. He thought that the 40, the basically Turkish nobles, are the ones who are challenging the supremacy of the Sultan. So he tried to get rid of the 40, and during his time is when he ended the concept of the 40. Right, and then he had created a view even in the public, so much so that he wouldn't laugh at any jokes. Okay, he wouldn't consume wine. Okay, now he wanted people to take him very seriously, so he conducted everything in a very serious manner. At the same point of time, he was very strict in his administration also. Okay, he was the one who clearly separated your military to your finances. At the same point of time, he was the one who reorganized the army also. Right, now during this, what happened was, now for example, it became so serious that for example, there was a lot of robberies happening at that period of time. Now what happened, the robbers were also punished so severely that there was no robberies and the roads used to be safer. For example, there was this one more instance where the governor, okay, he mistreated his slaves. So publicly he was flogged. Who was flogged? The governor was flogged. Okay, so these are the kind of strict measures that your Balban brought in. Alright, obviously if Balban is trying to become more and more strict, how would the nobles react? They wouldn't like that. Alright, now look at this. He enhanced the power of monarchy, okay, and he was the one who made, okay, the thing as such. The Sultan is considered as God's shadow on earth. Alright, next, see, he introduced rigorous court discipline. Okay, and he also brought in new customs such as your prostration, kissing the Sultan's feet. Alright, so new things. So basically he brought in to show the supremacy of Sultan, and also he tried to acquire legitimacy by telling Sultan is equivalent to God or his messenger, God's messenger. So somewhere he tried to increase the position of Sultan. Okay, look at this. Okay, look at this. He appointed spies. Now, Balban is, he appointed spies in almost every department. Okay, within administration, outside administration also, just to know that, okay, he has to be well aware of the facts that's going on in the administration. He had a very stern policy. Okay, and he organized a strong centralized army to deal with, okay, the army he had to stratify and standardize for two main purposes. So one, to deal with the internal disturbance as well as to deal with the external disturbances, that is your Mongol invasion. Right? Next in line is your Kaimur. See, now again he remained on the throne for a very less time. By now the position started getting deteriorating, and after him, okay, his own minister of war, who was Jalaluddin Khilji, murdered him and seized the throne, and thus began your Khilji Empire. okay, or Khilji dynasty, the second dynasty in your Delhi Sultanate. Alright, now this event is considered as dynastic revolution because this ended one dynasty and began another dynasty. That is, this ended the slave dynasty and brought in the new dynasty, which is Khilji dynasty. Alright, the rulers of your slave dynasty: Qutb-ud-din Aibak. Qutb-ud-din Aibak, okay, he is the founder of Mamluk dynasty and he was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. Aram Shah, son of Qutb-ud-din Aibak. Shamsuddin Iltutmish, son-in-law, we've discussed again, first Ilbari dynasty, okay. Then is your Feroz Shah. Then comes very important ruler, Razia Sultana, okay. Now, post this, okay, post your Bahram is where the rise of 40. Here is where the 40 gains enormous and immense power. Alright. Next is your Alauddin Masud, Nasiruddin Muhammad. Alright. Then comes your Ghiyasuddin Balban. Important ruler, or this is where you're beginning of second Ilbari dynasty. Okay. Next is Kaikubad, Kaimur, and then comes your Khiljis. Okay. This is the summation of the political part of your Ilbari dynasty or Mamluk dynasty. Alright, that's with the content on your Ilbari dynasty political part. If you do like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.